followed by a moment of silence. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Yes. Trustee Gergen,
Present.
Trustee Rhodey,
Here.
Trustee Belt,
Here.
Trustee Krasovich, Trustee Roberts,
Here.
Trustee Grabowski,
Here.
President Knutson.
Here. Okay. Second thing is public hearings. We have none. Item 3, approval of the regular village board meeting dated February 20th, 2024. Are there any questions, comments, corrections as the way they are presented this evening? If not, do I have a motion to approve as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from February 20th.
Second, Gergen.
Okay, we have a motion and a second discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I wasn't here.
Minutes have hereby been adopted. Item 4, citizen comments. This is an opportunity for citizens to share their opinion with board members on any topic they choose. However, due to Wisconsin open meeting law, the board is not able to answer or respond to your comments. All comments should be directed to the board. Comments are limited to 3 minutes. First speakers are asked to use the podium and state their name and address for the record. I don't think there's anybody that wants to say anything, do you? I don't know how to start. We're going to start over there in the corner, on that side of the wall. Anybody on that side of the wall? Yeah. Yes, sir. Come on up.
Evening. Name is Joe Wolfley, and I am the proud property owner of 303 Oakton, the former group home across the street. And just wanted to come here this evening. Last meeting, there was some discussion about the signage that is there, and got to say it was a little frustrating because it wasn't exactly welcoming conversation on the signage, and no one has actually knocked on the door and said hi and talked to me about what's going on there. So that's not finished yet. There's still to be quite a bit done to there. There is going to be landscaping there. I'm going to be redoing the entire siding of the building. By the time I'm done with that building, I'll put in about $100,000 worth of work into making that look very nice and a great space for the village. And again, I just like to make sure that when we're talking, that you guys know that I'm doing a lot to that property to make it look very nice and welcoming and appropriate for the rest of the building, or for the rest of the community. So, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Welcome to the village. Is there anybody else on that side of the wall, all the way down to the door? Okay, on the back wall? Anybody want to make a comment? Okay, on this side of the wall? Yes. Yes, sir, come on in. Come on over.
Good evening. My name is Greg DeWeese. I live in Unit G at 1127 Hawthorne Place. I'm here tonight to share my concerns about the new fire and EMS fee assessed under ordinance number 2023-22. First of all, I want to thank the board for your service to the village. Sometimes I'm sure it must be a thankless job serving on the board, especially when determining how to raise money for the village's services to its residents. Regarding the new fee, I share the same concern as a lot of my neighbors here regarding a possible consequence to us of this fee assessment. That is an increase in our monthly rent to offset the additional fee to our landlord. A $1,200 a year per apartment or $100 per month fee is a significant amount to be absorbed without considering a rent increase to cover it. If I own one of the properties affected, I would strongly be considering an increase in rent to cover it. I know this session is for public comment and not for discussion, so I hope my questions will encourage you to reconsider this fee and look for other ways to raise money or a fair and more equitable fee arrangement for all the residents of the village. For argument's sake, let's assume that our rent has been raised to $100 per month to cover the fee for our landlord. Since the new fee appears to be based on age and use of services, why did Baker Tilly study use the years 2020, 2021, and 2022? I think we can all agree that those years during the pandemic were unusual and that the pandemic more than likely resulted in higher usage of services. Why not use more average years like 17, 18, and 19? Are single-family homeowners 55 years or older being assessed an additional $100 per month like we are? Are single-family homeowners with chronic health conditions requiring the use of EMS services being assessed an additional $100 per month like we are? Assuming families with children potentially use more services, are single-family homeowners with children being assessed an additional $100 per month like we are? Please consider these questions in rethinking this fee. Thank you for allowing me this time to share my concerns.
Anybody in this? Yes, sir. I wanted to present this before I wanted to do it. Okay. I'm Mike Heisey. My address is 1105 Hawthorne Place, Pewaukee. I'm here to ask the board to change the new fire and EMS ordinance so that all residents in this community pay for this cost equally. A fire and EMS service is a community service that benefits all residents in the community, whether you use it or not. It's no different than paying for schools in your community. All residents pay for it whether they use it or not. But I wanted to address one of the responses that one of our residents received from a board member, Craig Roberts. Craig indicated that we did not inform our residents correctly. Supposedly, there was a postcard notifying residents of this change sometime in the fall. We never received anything, nor did our residents, and nobody attempted to contact us directly. We normally receive a full-size envelope with a letter inside whenever we get a notice from the village. You say you were transparent, but when we looked for the videos, when you approved this in November, they were gone. Then Craig went on to say we received a 19% credit on our taxes that we didn't inform our residents of. Well, first of all, it wasn't 19%, it was 11%. And we did bring this up to our residents, and here are the actual numbers. 11% credit amounted to $13,000, but our fire and EMS charge amounted to $119,000, a net increase of $106,000, which almost doubled our taxes from $125,000 to $231,000. How do you think we could possibly absorb that and not pass it on to our residents? How do you think these senior citizens, who mostly are on fixed incomes, could afford this increase? But as I looked into the credit further, I found something really amazing. As I looked at your taxes, Craig, I found that you gave yourself a tax credit more than your fire and EMS charge. Here are the numbers. Your 2023 tax bill shows a reduction of $512 from your 2022 taxes. And then after you were charged $241 fire and EMS fee, you ended up with a $271 reduction in your taxes from the previous year. Chris, you received a $689 credit, and after paying $241, you got a $448 reduction in your 2023 taxes. Heather, you received a
$438 credit, and after taking out the $241 fire and EMS charge, you got a $197 reduction in your taxes. And the same for Jeff, and the same for Bob. You both received tax credits more than your fire and EMS charge. Kelly, you got a $1,276 credit, and after being charged $241 for the fire and EMS fee, you received a $1,035 reduction in your tax bill for this year. Jim, you were the only one that didn't show a reduction in your taxes. I assume because your assessment went up, you may have done some remodeling or something. I assume that most other residents in the community also got tax breaks that paid for their EMS fees. Why would you do that? I thought you needed money. And why would you make these residents from Hawthorne Place and other senior communities who can afford it the least pay for your fire and EMS fee? And on top of it, for all the unnecessary tax reductions you and other residents receive. The way I see it is that you shifted all the fire and EMS fees to a few senior residents and businesses in the community. That is wrong. It's inequitable and unfair. You need to fix it now. Oh, and did I mention that all EMS calls are separately charged on top of these fees that you impose? So now we have double charges.
Sir, you wanted to talk, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today. My name is Richard Peterson. I am a resident of Hawthorne Place, 1097 Apartment E. I've been a resident of either the city or the village of Pewaukee for over 40 years. I've always loved this community. I'm a senior. You can see by my hat I'm a veteran. I've served this country, and I consider this assessment a slap in the face. A slap in the face. I've paid my entire life as an adult for services. Now I'm a senior. I am one of those who's on a fixed income. My wife has a medical issue. It's not cheap. I can't afford this. This is very personal. I wrote all of you an email. You got my email. I got a response from Chris Roberts, and I appreciate that. I found a lot of holes in it. I don't have the time to go into all of it because I'm limited to 3 minutes. But I'll tell you, I also watched the video of your meeting. I believe it was on September 15th. Might have been the 19th, but I think the 19th was the date that it was posted. I don't remember which one of you it was that said this, but the appeal or the comment was, we need to be more transparent to our community. I have to say, as a resident, I was not informed of this change until our property owner told us about it. Yes, there are a lot of comments, phrases, words that are the same. But you know what? It's because of the nature of the question. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that seniors have costs above and beyond a lot of other people in our communities. I can't afford this. This will put stress on me, as it will on a lot of residents in Hawthorne Place. I don't know how we're zoned, but I do know that we don't receive medical care like some other places in this community. We do not receive medical care. I have a lot of other expenses. Does that mean I'm done? All right. Enough said.
Hi, my name is Penny Olson. I live at Hawthorne Place, 1093 Apartment E, Hawthorne Place. And of course, you know what I'm going to speak about is the increase that you've given us. My son is a retired fire chief. He was a paramedic, lieutenant, battalion chief, on and on. So for 25 years, being his mother, I know how important that job is. I know how important it is to be funded, believe me. And I have to say that it's, to me, if you have to get some money to fund the fire and police and paramedics, so be it. But this smacks of a lack of common sense. You know, all of us are older, and we have a lot of wisdom in this room. We have run corporations, we have managed, we have done a lot of things that a lot of you haven't done. This is supposed to be our golden years. And the one thing that all of us are seeing is the way the world is going now. Common sense is out the door. Common sense should tell you that you cannot have one particular community charge $1,200 and another community charge $200 and some dollars. Where is the justice and where is the common sense in that? You know, we have over 12 years had the ambulance come 3 times. Our insurance paid 100% of that, Medicare and our secondary insurance. Where is this $1,200 going? I would like to know where that $1,200 is going. Why is there a discrepancy between a home that has 2, maybe 3 incomes and us on a fixed income? Why is there a discrepancy? Why is it 200 something to 1,200? Charge us 200 and something, like everybody else. Then we pay $20 a month instead of $100 a month. Where is this discrepancy and where is your common sense? That's all I have to say.
Thank you,
Good evening. So I'm Amber Miller. I'm the Associate State Director of Outreach with AARP Wisconsin. I'm also joined by my colleague right here, Martin Hernandez, who is our Director of Advocacy. And I just want to thank everybody for allowing me to speak today on behalf of everybody in this room, everybody, no matter what age you are. So thank you so much. So just keeping kind of in tact with our friends who just spoke. Of course, I want to speak or provide feedback on the ordinance, the 2023-2022 concerning the fire EMS fee, particularly in relation to the 55-plus community complexes. So rather than target older residents based on age, which is an age tax, that should be a term that you guys should be familiar with, we should work to share the cost among all who use the services through options like better coordination of fire EMS services and reduction of waste, fraud, and abuse that adds to the cost to everybody. We do ask that you please, I have to say I'm getting older now, so I need cheaters, so hold on. So please reconsider the current fire EMS fee structure, which stands at $1,200 per unit apartment for residents compared to $241 for homeowners. As one of the residents said, the data used to justify this fee for 55-plus senior living communities is based on the years 2020 and 2022, which coincided, of course, with the peak of COVID, and it's also evident that many communities experience heightened fire EMS usage during this period of time. Charging a $1,200 fee per unit will impact renters, potentially leading to an increase in their rent that some have already made comments on. An additional $100 in rent could significantly affect individuals who are already struggling to afford necessary items such as medications, groceries, gas, and other essentials. If a 75-year-old homeowner is charged $241, then why can't a resident of a 75-year-old resident who's living in senior living community be charged the same amount? Once again, age tax. Finally, we also advocate for the Village of Pewaukee to explore diverse methods of communication with taxpayers, as a one-size-fits-all approach does not work. It's ineffective. Utilizing listening sessions, focus groups, e-newsletters, open office hours, mail, and other channels could provide a more inclusive and responsive approach. Thank you so much.
Anyone else on this side of the room? Anyone else on this side of the room? Okay, I'm gonna go to this side of the room then. Is there anybody over here that would like to, yeah?
Hi, my name is Mary Lamb. I live at 1223 Hawthorne Place, apartment H. And my husband and I chose to come back to Pewaukee. It's a place I grew up. And we chose to come back to a multifamily residence where there'd be a large variety of ages. We love the individual units that we have, that we live in. And we like the area. It's got fabulous restaurants. It's got wonderful businesses. There's good services, which is why I would never contest paying fees or paying for taxes. We utilize those services. But I am here to express my concern about the disproportionate fire and EMS fee that has been assessed on us, as opposed to other multifamily units within our immediate area. I feel it's unjust to place our complex in the same category as care facilities, where you've got residents with differing health needs and differing concerns than we have at Hawthorne Place. I also feel that the chosen period of time that you looked at for assessing how many calls were made was during a pandemic, when our residents could not move to a care facility, could not get out of where they were at, and probably did have more health issues based on that. I'm requesting that you place our complex in the same fee structure category as other multifamily units in our area, and not impose this age discriminatory tax on us. I realize that this may have to go through a formal appeals process to change this wording within the ordinance 2023-22. But I'm hoping you will change it without that formal costly process. Thank you for this opportunity to address the board.
On this side of the room that would like to make a comment? Is there anybody in the room that has not made a comment that would like to make a comment? Yes, sir.
Yeah, my name is Mitchell Epstein, and like everybody here, I'm not very happy that I have to possibly pay $100 more a month. Let's kind of do a flip on this. How would you guys like it to make up your shortfall? Eliminate $100 a month from your paycheck, and there's $1,000. That's the same thing, only in reverse is what you're telling me. So I'm not happy. You guys need to reconsider it. We're all on fixed incomes. My wife and I, we're on Social Security, and $100 a month is a lot of money. That's all I have to say.
Okay, one last time, is there anybody else that would like to make a comment at this time? Okay, I'm gonna move on then. Thank you for all your comments. Okay, next on the agenda is ordinance number 2024-02, ordinance to amend salaries for trustees and village president.
I'll make a motion to table.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
What was the motion? I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
Table.
To table.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 6, resolution possible action on resolution 2024-05, allotment of the 2023 WPDES stormwater discharge permit annual report. Are there any questions, comments, or anything from the board? This is something that we've gone through every year since I've been on the board that we have to do. Does anybody have any comments or anything that they would like to ask or say? If not, then would someone like to make a motion to approve it or not?
I'll make a motion to approve the, sorry. The acknowledgement of the resolution 2024-05, acknowledgement of the 2023 WPDES stormwater discharge permit annual report.
Second, Rudy.
Just for a point of clarification, in the agenda packet, we have a resolution 2024-04. In the agenda, it's 2024-05.
So 04, or do we have to redo that?
The agenda properly describes the content of the resolution. The numerology being inconsistent is fine.
Okay, so can you change that to 04?
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Old business, discussion direction regarding the salary adjustment. We all have something that was put in the package and different salaries within the communities around us and elsewhere. But I also asked the judge to come this evening to kind of give her side of the story and what she does. And I'm sure there's a lot of us that don't understand her job. And also things that may have been said about the job. So
Thank you.
with that, I'd like to introduce our
Good evening. I feel a little bad asking about a salary increase after everything that people are going through, so I'm very sensitive to that. And I love seeing everybody here supporting your issues, so congrats to all of you. My name is Melissa Murray. I am the Village of Pewaukee Municipal Judge. I've served in this capacity since 2005. So I was 10 years old when I was elected, obviously. As far as background, I'm a magna cum laude graduate of Marquette, an honors graduate of Notre Dame Law School. And so some of you don't know, you do not have to be a lawyer to be a municipal judge. So if anyone's getting ideas here in Pewaukee, don't. No, I'm just kidding. I have to run elections and everything like that. But just to let you know that Pewaukee is blessed to have a judge who is a lawyer. I've worked with Matt Gorlinski for many, many years now. And I do feel that sometimes the court is not viewed as an equal part of government. We have the executive branch, you the legislative branch, and I'm the judicial branch. And I feel like sometimes we are a second-class citizen to the other branches. I don't think anyone here, no trustee has ever been to court, not one time, to see what I do. And over 19 years, that is a shame. I have been to these meetings. I'm very active in the community. So I think it's really hard for you to make a determination on my salary if you don't even know what I do. So just a few things. We have court once a month officially, but I do court work every single day at home. We have so many things that come through via email, scanning. We made some adjustments to what we do procedurally during COVID when we weren't able to be in person, and some of those procedures have stayed. I also have trials several times a month. We have so many other things going on that I think that chart that you all received in your packet is a bit of I think it's a misunderstanding in terms of you cannot just compare judges in the area versus salaries and days in court. Days in court doesn't mean anything when you're doing a lot of work at home. I have a home office and that's what I'm doing. So if I could share with all of you, I made, I think rather than compare apples to oranges, these are apples to apples. I went through for each of the population, or each of the communities that I don't know who prepared this, Jeff. Going through the cases, the amount of cases, that is what's really important. It's not the times in court, it's the amount of cases. And you can see there about the population, the cases annually, I've listed those. Those come to Wisconsin Supreme Court, Court of Wisconsin official reporting at the end of 22. So basically, on the left, you have the years on the bench. And of all those different 12 or 15 communities, the average is 9.5 years on the bench. I've been here 19 years. As far as cases annually, you can see there's a huge variation. But when you take the salary divided by the cases, it gives you sort of the value per case and what the judge is paid, sort of as a apples to apples comparison. Of those 15 different numbers, there are only 3 paid less than me, 13 are paid. So there are some judges that make $44 a case, some make $23 a case, some make $22 a case, $28 a case. I'm at $7.69. And I have to tell you, based on my salary, I'm not making a ton of money here in the village. I am of service to the village. I am a volunteer in the community. I'm president of Positively Pewaukee. I'm an Insight high school volunteer. I do speaking. I bring kids in here for mock trials. I do so many things I don't get paid for. And since 2015, I've been a member of the Wisconsin Municipal Judges Education Committee. I teach other judges. Whether I've just been around a long time or I know stuff, I think it's because I know what I'm doing. And that, in and of itself, saves the village $1,000 to $2,000 a year, because the state of Wisconsin pays all of my conference fees, all of my mileage, all of my food, all of my hotel, every time, or else that would come right back to the village for a charge. And I don't ever see that being a value-added thing when it comes to talking about my salary or what I make. The other paper I would like to give you is salary history of mine. This is gross salary since 2005. And over 19 years, I've received 6 raises. Now, I would like to know, as far as the village trustees, I know this is not really a conversation, but how would you feel if any of you in your job over 19 years, when everybody else is getting a raise, you don't? It's a shame. It's disappointing. I'm not looking for a lot of way to go, yay, you're a great judge and everything else. I'm just looking to be treated fairly, like the trustees, like the village employees. I am an employee of the village. And I do think that I have not been treated fairly in terms of salary. And that's why I'm here tonight. I'm not trying to be greedy, but I am trying to let you all know that I don't think it's fair the way I've been treated. And I would just like, if you wouldn't mind passing these around, just so you can see, there's one 8-year period where I got no increase, 8 years without a raise. That's really demoralizing to me. The other thing I wanted to talk about is there have been terrible rumors spread about me and our court, about the fact that I dismiss a lot of tickets, and that's coming right from a department here in this building. And I have it on authority, and I have it from employees of that department that I am accused of dismissing a lot of tickets, and that's one reason why this board, I have it from Jeff, that you didn't want to give me a raise because I dismiss a lot of tickets. Well, nothing could be further from the truth. I dismiss tickets if it is judicially and factually based to dismiss a ticket. We have had one situation where a young man was in here for theft. One incident, he got 9 $439 tickets because he stole 9 small items that totaled $25 or less. Yes, I did dismiss a couple of those tickets. That is not justice. I'm sorry. I have to be fair, impartial, just, and run this courtroom where anyone comes in, they're going to be treated fairly, they're going to be treated with compassion and respect, and that's what I do. There are also times, just so you know for your information, either tickets are poorly written, they're overwritten, or people come in and testify, and as Matt can attest to, not all witnesses are great witnesses. for the village cases. So I did actually meet with Chief Heyer and Dave Spakowitz. We had a private meeting because I think if you have issues, you discuss those privately and you discuss those professionally and with courtesy and respect. And we were able to discuss some things about respecting the judicial system, respecting the police and everything. And that was very, very positive. And that's what I prefer to do. That's why it's really hard for me to come here and toot my own horn and say I'm doing a good job, but I am doing a good job. And I think anyone who's been in court, I don't know if anyone here has been in court. Yeah, I recognize them. No, I'm just kidding. It's going to be a positive experience. It's going to be something that this is the friendly neighborhood court, and I don't want people to come in here crying, and sometimes people do, or afraid. It is just a ticket, and we want to deal with it like a ticket that it is. The other thing I have a huge heart for are juveniles in our community. And what I have seen since 2005, the level of trouble has increased exponentially, and it's been only increasingly bad since COVID. So I do a lot of work with the school resource officers, with the Reality Store, the Insight program, to work with the youth in our community, and that's a real passion of mine. So I just want to thank you for the time. Thank you for looking at my documentation. Thank you for making a consideration, and I'm only really asking for what other village employees receive on an annual basis, not just because it's fair, but just because I think I deserve it. So thank you very, very much. I appreciate it.
That being said, thank you, Judge. Appreciate you coming in. As I asked before for the salary to be increased, $2,500. This, again, is not a monthly salary. This is a yearly salary. It's a yearly increase, not a monthly increase. So if anybody would look at it and see $12,000, it's not for a month, it's a year. So anyway, I would just open it up to the board. Any questions, comments, disagreements?
Really grateful that Judge Murray has a uniformly positive reputation. We need help. We need help. We need help.
There an officer? Like 911?
911.
Has 911 been
call?
called?
Oh, who's up? Water in the office. You call a recess? Call a recess, Jeff? Jeff,
Let's see.
I'm gonna call a 5-minute
yeah, there's gonna be a
recess
promotion regardless. So.
CPR? Somebody knows CPR? Yep. CPR?
Shut the bar.
So we're in recess, so pause it.
I'm calling for EMS service.
My number is 414-202-4880. Yes, we are here with them now.
The officers are talking again.
Scott just said in the lobby and I looked at it's right.
statement here, and